All right, guys. Today we're here with Ben Crawford from ACS going over the Bitaxe Touch. So tell us about how the whole project started, how it developed,
Perfect.
and how long you've been doing it.
Perfect. So I'm going to go into about a 2-minute backstory on ACS first. This kind of helps understand where we come from on the Bitaxe project.
Sure.
So Advanced Crypto Services, we're based here in Carrollton, Texas.
Okay.
We are the North America's largest repair center for industrial miners. That's our core group and this was our core business. And this was something that I kind of started after I noticed a trend in our repairs on the newer models where the newer models had a higher beyond economical repair rate. Either people didn't want to repair them because there was too much bench time required, or maybe one line of components was bad and not really repairable, but the others were good. So what I really wanted to look at is how I could reutilize that equipment, right? Because it's an e-waste issue.
It is.
That's how I initially got involved in the Bitaxe projects. And for anyone who's not familiar with the Bitaxe project, it's a group of guys who open source and reverse engineered the Bitmain ASICs and made their own PCB around it. So what I did is I kind of found that project and I was really interested in the tech behind it, right? So I basically started looking into it and I was like, okay, there's still improvements that can be made. It's really cool, but even for something like a tech guy like me, it was a bit too niche. That was my original thought, right? They were really close to something cool. So what I started working on is the PCB and the firmware looked great. But I wanted to see about the thermals and make them better. Not necessarily even for performance, but just to make it quieter, right? Because the normal Bitaxe, it has like a smaller 40mm fan that's
Little noisy.
Yeah.
Little noisy.
That was the first thing I thought because I wanted something I could put on my desk, not in the closet. I wanted it on my desk so I can play with it, right? So the first thing I did is like, okay, I want a bigger 60mm fan so I can lower the RPM and make it a lot quieter.
Quieter, and it adds to the longevity of the product. So
Exactly.
we're not
So
adding
we
torque.
basically accidentally over-engineered the cooling just because I wanted it quieter to be on my desk.
That's the way to go.
And then the next thing was, well, basically how this first started back in November of last year was I talked to James Skaggs, our CEO, and I was like, hey, I kind of have this idea about like how we can reutilize some of this equipment we have. And basically I bought like a dev screen off of Amazon for like $30. And I just held up a Bitaxe and held up a screen. I was like, I think I could do something with this, right? And he's basically like, okay, like, well, I trust you, but you have 2 weeks to like prove something. He gave me 2 weeks. He's like, okay, Black Friday's coming up. This is Black Friday last year. It's like, if you can give me a prototype that we can take pictures of and just like post on Twitter and like say like, hey, is there interest in this, right? I had to prove the interest, right? And then that response was great. Right, we did like 2 Twitter posts. I think we sold in like 20 units. We were just like, oh, well, how does this look? Like, are people interested, right?
Yeah, great.
And then we had some distributors that reached out and like, how can we get 100? I was like, not right now because I'm about 2 weeks in, but yes, we will see what we can do, right?
Filling orders.
And so basically the next step was, well, now I had to prove I could build it, right? I proved there was demand. People kind of like liked it, the idea, so I had to build it next. And so that was about 2 months of basically building into this, right? It did not look like this in 2 months. It was a 3D printed model that had a similar design, but man, that thing was hard to build. I was in the lab for like 18 hours a day in the resin printer lab, just like printing these constantly.
You really took this on as your baby. This is your project through
it became something that was really, really cool, right? I think first there was something like, okay, we have this kind of small issue with reutilizing equipment. And then it was like, oh, this is fun because I'm a hardware guy, right? I'm a technician. I'm just stepping into software. I'm like learning, and it's like it reinvigorated like my love for electronics.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say between November and May, I mean, I was working maybe 18 hours a day, just like trying to figure all this out.
Wow. Well, you ended up with an amazing product that's ending up in a lot of people's hands as well.
I'm loving the response. I'm really, really loving it.
Can you share to date how many sales that you guys have gone through?
Roughly around 800, I would say. 800 units, yes.
That's why.
We love that number because we're not marketing ourselves, right? We've intentionally like grown naturally and organically because we make all this in-house in our facility. Right, I'm not outsourcing design and just getting components in. I really wanted to build it because this is a labor of love. It's not just like, oh, it's a product. It's like I wanted to learn how to build it. I wanted to learn how to make a pick and place machine work, right? So we bought pick and place machines, and then I approved that to work. We got a bigger pick and place machines so we can scale, right? So it's like a whole project, and the whole team's been loving it. It's been great.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm glad that you've found some success. It's every home miter's need. I don't know why anybody would not want to have this product sitting on their desk. Beautiful design, beautiful product. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yes, I think I would like to share the last thing about the last iteration, how we ended up here with the aluminum and with the final UI, the stable release we have.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
So, real quick, there's a backstory on that. Is the first designs, they worked, right? But something I learned from this project is that I take for granted kind of how much people are like scared to learn about Bitcoin, right? I know what a stratum URL is. I know what a pool is. I know all that. But a lot of people don't. And they want to learn. Like, they're learning about Bitcoin. But what James Gaz, the CEO, kind of puts it best is that, like, he had an issue telling people what he did, right?
Yeah.
You can't, like, they would want to know, like, his contractor or his GMC dealer, right? He's like, what do you do? Like, I see in here that you're doing good. Like, what is Bitcoin? Can you tell me? And just like, when he tells them about ACS and like, oh, I have 24,000 miners we're repairing, and we have this chip level repairs, like, he just always say, oh, their eyes just glaze over, right? They stop listening. I mean,
No interest in that side of things.
yes. But then when he started developing this, he was kind of showing it off, right? It was like our first metal case. People were like, what? Wait, what is this? This is a miner? Wait, this is Bitcoin? Like, Bitcoin price is doing good, right? The conversation started. And so that kind of steered the direction we did on the UI.
Okay.
One thing I do want to show is that one thing I did a lot of effort into is how the ease of setup, right? Because like I said, a lot of people don't want to know what a pool is. So we simplified the setup. There's only two things you need to know for the average person. First thing is going to be your Wi-Fi and your Wi-Fi password, which most people know, right? That's not a huge barrier to entry. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in my Wi-Fi password. It's going to do a quick check, just make sure I didn't have any typos.
Should have.
Then the second thing is, it's going to ask for your Bitcoin address. That is the biggest barrier to entry for this project, which is something most people can handle. Like, if I gave this to my dad, I think I could teach him a Bitcoin address.
Yeah.
So, of course, I don't want to type that in either. So I'm going to hit this QR code right here.
That is a nice feature.
It's going to basically take me to a page. I'm on conference Wi-Fi, so
It's all right. Takes a little bit longer.
But basically what it would do is show this exact screen on my phone. So then I can go to my Coinbase or my Cold Wallet, my Ledger app, anything like that, copy in my Bitcoin address, and just paste it directly into the device.
Then the setup's that easy.
Yes,
It's
and
that
then
easy.
basically, I'm going to skip this just to show it.
Uh-huh.
Everything else is taken care of for you,
Huge.
right? And in the background, based on that Bitcoin address, it's going to set up your pool settings to publicpool.io, which is an open source pool made by the same people behind the Bitaxe projects.
Okay.
It's a solo mining pool, right? So that Bitcoin address you put in is the payout address if you do find a block reward.
Yeah, and that block reward is 325
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
3.125 plus any fees.
Huge. And what's your joules per terahash on this? Like, what's the efficiency?
So these are using actually pretty new generation chips, right? These are using S21 chips, which are between the 17 to 21 watts a terahash range.
Huge. How many watts in total is it pulling?
So we can see on this one right now, we're at 16 watts at 800 gigahash.
Huge. And what's the estimated cost per month for the average?
So estimated cost per day, I do know that one. It's about 5 cents a day at a 13 kilowatt average, which is average in Texas.
It's huge.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's why a lot of people like to do solo pools, because, you know, the regular pools, the pay per day pool, it's not really worth it on this kind of device. It's such a low terahash and low wattage range. You're not going to get that daily rewards you want. But this is like a light bulb you leave on, right? You're not going to notice it too much on your electricity bill, and you're a part of the network. You have a desk piece, and you have a chance at the full block reward. And for me, I don't even really care about the block rewards, right? I just love the fact that, like, this design is painstakingly, it was something I wanted on my personal desk. That's how I got to this point.
No, it's an excellent design. I mean, as you said, it was kind of natural when it came to the design and the engagement that you guys got from it. I mean, everybody on crypto Twitter was blown away by the design.
I love to respond to it. It was so humbling.
It's a great gift for people that are not in Bitcoin. Like they're saying, it's a great way to get people engaged in the industry. We're thankful that you put it together. Thankfully, you put it together.
And I'm thankful that like people were giving me feedback and like helped me grow this into like what is in today. And I'm very excited for the future, very excited to scale, and very excited for the next project.
We can't wait to see what else you put out. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.